Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. And today we are fortunate to have great guest Larissa Long from Washington. How are you doing?
Great. How are you, Dr. Moby?
Okay, thank you for coming to our show. So tell us what you normally do so we get an idea.
Yeah, so I'm in marketing. I've been in marketing for about 20 years, and I currently am a marketing director for a 10,000 seat arena, which typically hosts shows, but because of COVID, we haven't had any shows since February.
Oh, so it's bad. Yeah, I know the business is like many other businesses suffering. Entertainment industry, film industry, Hollywood, are like really big. A lot of Hollywood celebs coming to our shows, and they were good for us. That it's very usually hard to find them, but now we are finding them for interviews, which is great.
Yeah, we actually did for a while. We did some live stream shows, and we were able to get some entertainers to perform for free, just because anybody was looking for things to do. And we didn't charge. We just wanted to get entertainment out to people because for so long we've we've gone without live entertainment.
Mm-hmm. So tell us also about how did you start? When did you start doing marketing, and what's your passion?
Yeah, so I actually started working with at a youth program, and I kind of did everything, and then I started to evaluate what I loved most about that job, and it was the marketing, the PR, the outreach to the community. And so I decided to go back to school and really focus on marketing. And then um, I worked for a marina in Florida for a couple years, which was pretty fun. Having an office on the water is fabulous,
Yeah.
right there on the ocean. So that was great, and I just started my own company when I moved back to Washington, and I did that for many years. And then my kids uh, grew up and didn't need me home so much anymore, and I decided I wanted to go back and have a normal 9 to 5 job. Which I wouldn't say working for an arena is a 9 to 5 job, but it definitely is fun, and I really enjoy people and people interaction, which is why I decided to go into marketing.
Mm, perfect. So I'm sure you have so many years of experience and so forth. So tell me, we'll talk about COVID later, but tell me, what are the most successful shows you enjoy doing?
Oh, well, we actually had a really fun show in February. It was our last show. It happened to be our last one. It wasn't supposed to be. But we did the World Cup of Tennis at
Mm.
our arena, which was pretty great. And it was the biggest tennis tournament that Washington had ever had. And we had Serena Williams there and Coco
Wow.
Gauff. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And working with their team was great. And I actually got pretty close to the coach of the team. Her and I worked very closely together, and it was one of the coolest things I think I've ever done. And I've worked on many shows, but that one, it was just different. It was something very different than I had done before.
No, no. I mean, just hearing from you makes me excited, And I'm sure when you were with Serena Williams and all those big names, it must be so like a dream, right?
It was, and everyone was so nice, and it was exciting. And it was a multiple day event, and we sold out every day, so that's always an exciting thing too. And tennis is different. It was something I had never experienced, and being able to watch them practice, that was pretty cool too.
Cool. And so, yeah, I should have asked you if you want to share pictures, but yeah, never
Oh,
mind
yeah.
So how was I'm sure you must be pleasantly surprised by all these celebs, Serena Williams and so forth. Did you have some personal interaction with any?
Oh yeah, yeah. We did. We had to do a lot of press interviews and things like that. So my job is to help set that stuff up. So I had to work with her on interviews, and I always joke. I'm like, Serena Williams complimented my shoes. So that's my claim to fame. Someone as stylish as her liking my shoes was a big deal. But she was very nice, um, helpful, and obviously very good at tennis. So, but the team in general was, we had Sophia Kennan, who is she actually was the champion of the event, and she was the kindest girl. Yeah, I got to know her parents pretty well too, which was because she's so young. Her parents were with her the whole time, so.
Hmm. Well, we know they're usually, they play tennis. Of course, everybody knows that. But I like to know more, like tennis plus. Like, what do you think? I mean, you shared that they're really nice, easy to kind of communicate, and kind of you feel they are like simple people. They have a heart of gold. So I mean, they earn a lot of respect for what they are, but they definitely are nice human,
Oh
first
yeah.
of all. And that is very important because and winning and being such a celeb is one thing, but being a nice person and down to earth and still can communicate with everybody is, I think, is god gifted, I guess. Right.
I completely agree. And not everybody, not every celebrity is that way. I've definitely come across some that have not been as friendly, but I think that entire team was phenomenal. They were just real people.
Mm.
It mattered to them what their fans think and how they treated their fans. So that was pretty great.
Mm. Yeah, very good. And so did you ever have also some of the music? I'm sure you had a lot of music events besides sports.
Yeah. So we actually were supposed to have Cher in May. Cher was going to be there, and Camila Cabello. And I work with both of their teams still because Cher will be coming next year. So I've done a lot of stuff with her team. I haven't met her yet, but she's performed at our arena in the past, and everybody says she's very accessible, very nice person. So I am looking forward to meeting her. She's her team has been phenomenal to work with, but the show just keeps getting postponed and postponed and postponed. So eventually we'll get there. But and then we had we do everything. So our arena, we do sports. We also do ice shows. We have Cirque du Soleil that performs at our arena, which is pretty actually one of the coolest things I think that we have at the arena, to watch them set it up and to have the sets and to see the circus performers, perform and some of the things that they can do. And we're an ice rink, so they can also do some stuff on the ice rink. So we have that as well. Um, we've had Backstreet Boys at our arena, Toby Keith. I'm trying to think who else within the. I guess that's all within the last year. A lot of our shows, because of the last 8 months, a lot of them were canceled. But and I've worked with the over doing some of our live streams. They're more local performers that we've worked with. So they're smaller performers, but have a pretty decent following as well.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, those are definitely, you're absolutely right. Those Circus Soleil, they kind of come and set up, and you never know that, they did all that in such a short time. It looked like it was always there.
Well, the to be honest, the coolest set that I've ever seen at our arena was for WWE. So for the wrestling, we had them there. The set. I'm not necessarily a wrestling fan, but the production quality of what they put on was amazing. I mean, it was just watching them put it together, and like you said, in 24 hours is just insane to me to see our arena turn from an ice rink to this wrestling tournament. So that was actually pretty cool as well.
Oh yeah, that must be very cool. So for WW, I just want to ask: do they really do all that fight, or is just?
So it's not real, but everything that they're doing is very physical. So they're doing all the flips. They're doing, and there's no stunt people or anything like that. So, it's definitely scripted. But from a athleticism perspective, actually watching it live, it was amazing. These people are just so in shape and so athletic, and even like we have. So part of what we do at the arena, we also prepare their meals. And so, knowing what they eat and watching what they eat and how well they take care of themselves, they were the most fit, health conscious group that we've ever had through the arena.
Sure, sure. No, I'm sure that definitely, it is, when I was growing up, I used to watch them and I always thought they were real. But then later on, somebody told me they are not. And then I lost some interest in watching. But, you're right. But still, to do the script, I mean, I'm in media and I know I did one movie, and just to go by the script is the hardest thing, because any mistake can happen. And then, and I mean, we do dialogues, of course, but their action actually, if they punch wrong way or whatever they do wrong, then of wrong flip, they can injure themselves. So it is probably
Absolutely,
more
yeah.
difficult. Mhm.
Yeah, someone did injure themselves when we were there, and he had to keep going. So he broke his foot and kept going because he couldn't stop the script. And then when he was done, he was taken off, and then they fixed him all up because they have doctors there on site for them. So
Mhm, mhm. And so which one is your favorite? Sports, music, wrestling?
music, definitely.
Music, okay.
Yeah.
And which are the singer? I know you told me Cher might come or was coming, but who else did you have there?
Well, I would say the coolest was I did like Camila Cabello. I was pretty excited about that one. She's young, but her music, it was a different audience than we're used to. So that one was pretty exciting, and having a top 40 artist at the time of her growth was, I liked that. We typically have our audience is a little bit older. We definitely have more shows like Backstreet Boys as well. It's a little bit of an older audience. Toby Keith, older audience. But with Camila Cabello, it was definitely a younger audience. So it was a little bit of a different marketing strategy that we had to put together for her.
Hmm. And then I'll ask you these marketing strategy. Okay, so because I think I have witnessed few events and few we were actually planning to do once the COVID kind of eased up. Unfortunately, it hasn't, but probably next year for sure. So tell me, for somebody who is kind of starting like myself, or anybody who wants to learn more about some of the marketing mistakes somebody shouldn't do, or should kind of course, best is to hire a marketing person, event manager or marketing director to take care of that, because it's a full-time job, and lot of ins and outs, and you can sometimes you don't want to learn that on your first experience.
Yeah. Well, I know Bill Gates once said if he had $1 left, he'd spend it on marketing.
Wow, that is very cool. I can relate to that. So, yeah, sure. So, tell me some of the things which somebody should buy, the marketing aspect. So, kind of it highlights what it needs to be done, or if you can emphasize some of those.
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely depends on what you're trying to market. Like, if you're trying to market a product, you're going to have a different strategy than if you're marketing an event,
Mhm.
So, there's a lot of things that go with it. A lot of my job now includes media buying, so I'm buying a lot of commercials, a lot of advertising through social media, through things like podcasts. So I do a lot of purchasing for there, which I had done a little bit before this job, but it is quite a skill that I didn't realize was a skill. I thought it was, oh, you're spending money, that's easy to do, but there's definitely a strategy to even buying your advertising. Making sure that your demographic is correct, that you're buying the right times of day, that you're buying the right channels. You can negotiate prices. A lot of people aren't aware of that. That you can, if once you get with your media representative, you can negotiate your pricing. And sometimes, if you can negotiate some free spots, and a lot of people aren't aware of that either. A lot of the times I like to negotiate some PR or, be able to get some interviews with some of the celebrities that come in. Like when the Harlem Globetrotters were at our arena, and one of the players came in, and him and I spent a day just going from channel to channel to channel, and he was doing interviews with them. That was quite entertaining because he gave the same interview. He was so rehearsed, he had known what to do because that's what he does.
Mm.
That was actually pretty great to watch. I think that's also important in your marketing. If you're going to be doing advertising, make sure that someone that is going to be doing your interviews knows your product, knows what, your event well enough to do
Mm.
an interview properly. I've seen a lot of that end on in failure as well, where I'll see someone doing an interview and then they're asked a question and they don't know the answer, and it can end up in a loss of sale. So that's important. I
Mm.
would say, to me, my favorite is public relations, because it's free and it's something, it's more work. You definitely, the time commitment is bigger, but the cost, especially if you're a new organization and you don't have a lot of money, or you're a nonprofit or something along those lines. But the hustle is real. You have to you're going to get 99 no's before you get one yes, and you have to be okay with that. You just ask, and that's the key, is just get as much as you can, and you ask everywhere, put yourself out there, and that's honestly the best promotion I think you can get.
Mm. So, and that is so true that it PR is free, like you said, and I mean, I mean, social media for sure is there, but still there's the human element which really makes a big difference. So I'm sure if whatever event you had before, and you did such a wonderful job, and then 5, 10 more people, or even your own community, they would talk great thing, and then that's gonna blossom into the next success for sure, right?
Absolutely. Word of mouth. Nothing sells something better than word of mouth.
Yeah, yeah, and then same, but certainly, those social media, those Facebook and those Google, whatever you use, and it's pretty impressive that nowadays you can do. But I still think, people are worried about these kind of, mass kind of emails, mass phone numbers, and that's sometimes annoying. You get an email. Oh, 10,000, you send a flyer and all that. But so do you really incorporate some of the I know not now, but before that, like shopping malls, and like you would do certain spots where people can ask questions about the event and so forth.
Yeah, so we would do, we still even do social media promotion. So we do, the hard part about social media promotion, we have, hundreds of thousands of followers, so it's a little bit different for us because we can engage a lot more people. But if you don't have those followers, never buy a follower. I want to say that right now. Don't pay for your followers because they're not going to do you any good. And most people are aware of when you purchase your followers. So it's just important to really engage, and that's how you can grow your following. But there's social media is a great resource, and if you don't have a lot of followers, it is worth paying for. It doesn't cost a lot. I mean, if you could spend $100 on a Facebook, Instagram, advertising, and you can really target it to the people that you want to target it to. And I think that is the key to that. Um, we do actually, funny enough, we do advertising in shopping malls. We do have some advertising there.
Mm.
Um, we do a lot of billboards. Billboards actually do really well. You wouldn't think that they do. You just need to make sure that they're on the freeway. Don't buy a billboard that's out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm.
I've learned that the hard way, where I bought a billboard that I thought was in a different place, and then it wasn't on the freeway. And if you buy freeway billboards, those can be good
Mm.
as well. But I think that the biggest and best way, if you're going to buy advertising, the best places to do it is through OTT, which is for things like podcasts, things through Spotify, through YouTube, things like that, where you can place your advertising. It's really the wave of the future, and I think that that's where most people are getting their information.
Mm. And I think I've seen a couple of they do in the mall. They, let's say if there was a character of the movie, they would just actually somebody would wear some costume like that and
Oh,
just.
oh, yeah, we have that. So we have a mascot actually for our hockey team. We have a hockey team at our arena, and
Uh,
Lincoln is our mascot, and he does do appearances, and we will send him places all the time to do things. Same thing with. Sometimes we'll have same Cirque du Soleil is actually a great example. They sent us. They didn't send us people, but they sent us stuff to get out to the public, like scratch cards.
mm,
And the scratch cards were really fun because it would have like a discount or something like that on it, and we could pass them out at things like street fairs or farmers markets, and we would set up a booth and do it that way, and that was super effective as well.
yeah, I've seen, because I think somehow kids are more interested in those, and then they drag their moms and parents with them. So then they check out. So everybody knows, okay, there's some. Yeah, I think it's fascinating. Those small things make such a big impact. So, well,
Absolutely.
it was such a pleasure having you and discussing. And I'm still kind of thrilled with that thought that you had, Serena Williams, and all that great slaps. And Cher is coming. Cher is my favorite too, but never. I can only think of great,
Well,
great.
thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and let us know anytime you'd like to give us an update and see how things are. We'll be very happy to have you back. And any final thoughts you have for our audience?
Yeah, I would just say if you are serious about your business, like I said about Bill Gates spending his last dollar on marketing, I think it's worth looking into. And I will say you do get what you pay for. Make sure that you're getting something quality when you're looking for your marketing resources.
Hmm. And no, that's true. That that, and it's a hard work for sure. But it is. You should definitely. I mean, that's what we do. We also believe in. Thank you once again for coming in. And people can just send us email or text or whatever they like feedback. Thank you for coming our show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.